And welcome everyone to Films with the Women in My Life. My name is Brennan, and joining me tonight is my girlfriend Nicole.
Hi everybody.
And my mom, Mama K.
Hey guys.
And tonight we are reviewing the Netflix movie The Dirt.
The Dirt.
The Dirt. This is a movie about... Well, I'll just read the synopsis right now. It's pretty easy. The story of how Motley Crue came to be one of the most notorious rock and roll groups in history. This is a film by Jeff Tremaine. I think you guys... he has a pretty long career as a director. He directed Jackass the movie, Jackass number 2, Jackass 3D, Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa... but he's also done some TV. He directed the TV show Jackass.
Right.
He also did, and he's either co-created or produced on Robin Big, Fantasy Factory with Rob Dyrdek, Ridiculousness.
Yes.
Yeah, all those Nitro Circus, all those kind of stunt asshole shows. Which
I'm really glad that he kept to his roots for this one. Then.
Yes, I think he really stuck with how he goes.
Oh, come on.
Jackass.
You don't think this was branching out at all? I mean...
I think this is the most branched out I've seen him do, and that is unfortunate because, well, before we give too much away, I'll just, we're going to get right into this one. I'll give how we rate movies here at Films with the Women in My Life. So we rate on 4 criteria: the plot, the characters, the visual and sound, and the overall feel and resonance of the film. And I basically already read you the synopsis. It's the rise and fall and then kind of re-rise of Motley Crue. So at this point, if you want to check it out, if you're a fan of the band, are any of us a fan of the band? I don't think anyone here is a particular...
No.
Not a fan of the band, but I mean, so I'm the only one who grew up during this when the actual story happened.
Right.
And you hear the music and you're like, oh yeah, I can remember what was going on like in my life back then, and also some of the plot things that happened. You're like, oh yeah, I remember that. And the songs resonate, but yeah, it's Motley Crue.
Yeah, it's so funny. I really like a lot of different genres and different time periods of music, but the one I can't stand is fucking 80s hair bands, so it just gives you
so this was the movie for you. All right, so
you gotta get past the hair and the band. And
if you were a Motley, because none of us sounds like our Motley Crue fans, I think Mama K is the most familiar. I know a good amount of their songs, but it's not my era or genre. But yeah, if you're a fan, it's on Netflix right now. You can go check it out. If you just like music biopics, like if you love Bohemian Rhapsody, even if you weren't a big Queen fan, but you just like the music autobiographies.
Whoa. You've got to really slow your roll on comparing it to Bo Rap, so...
I'm comparing it genre-wise. Quality-wise,
yeah.
I am not comparing it to... all right.
Story-wise,
I don't think this is
acting-wise.
winning any Best Picture anytime soon, or whatever the hell it won.
Oh, no, I don't think this is winning. Okay.
Yeah.
So before we give too much more away, we're gonna go into spoilers here. Check it out on Netflix if you dare. The Dirt. So
biggest spoilers, they're all still alive. So
yeah, they're still alive. I guess all this happened, so you can look it up. I mean, but as far as the movie unfolds,
the
way it
unfolds,
yourself
and Google it.
Mama K, what did you think of the plot of The Dirt?
I mean, it follows the standard. When you're doing a biopic, you want to kind of hit the highlights of what the most interesting, and in this case, crazy times were. And they really hit that with the very beginning and sort of like once they became famous and how they sort of, really they lived the life of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll situation. And when it was happening, you knew that was happening too. And you and I wasn't, surprised by anything that I saw, except for, the amount of things that I actually saw.
In the beginning.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to see.
As soon as that happened, we were like, oh God, we need to review this.
I was like,
with
I
your
can't
mother.
wait to review this with my mother. This is the perfect movie for that.
Thank Jesus we weren't in the same room. It'd be like, what the what?
Had the
With
same
what?
state.
What?
Yeah. What did you... Yeah, I think you hit a lot of the notes of what this is. It's pretty paint by numbers biopic as far as the plot, but just raunchier and more. They show a lot. I'm surprised at how much like sex and drugs they show in gratuitous, ridiculous fashion. Nicole, what did you think of the plot of this?
I didn't really give a rating. I guess I would give like a 2.5. I mean, I don't know quite how true to life this is, but the one thing that I really don't like about movies is when they like break that fourth wall and talk to the camera as they're walking around. Oh, and then this happened. I hate that. And
that can work
that's all
sometimes.
they did in this movie. So it just really ruined the tone for me. Like, you know, I just felt like they were talking to me. I don't like that. But I guess if it was true to the time, which it seems to be, I mean, it was a good description of how they grew up as a band. So I thought that was pretty neat. But overall, it wasn't the style that I appreciate.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys there. I mean, I give this a plot of 2. It's a real true story, so you can't do much about that. But the execution is paint by numbers and really for all the gratuity, it's just boring. It's really a boring movie. I'm surprised at how bored I was during this, despite all the depravity.
It was boring, and
I don't know how they can make this so boring. I think it has to do with like a lot of the one like the okay.
The acting was pretty bad. I mean, even though the characters in real life are really charactery, you know what I mean? Like they are really. This was almost comic. It was almost cartoony. That it was, you know, I don't know. They just
I definitely agree with that. What a weird choice of a band to make a movie for. Like, I guess they were all the producers of it, so I guess they all got together and were like, we need some more money. Let's make a movie now.
They're like, let's write a book. Let's make a movie about the book. It's going to be great.
Let's hire the Jackass guy.
By the Jackass guy. And we don't have to tour anymore because, you know, one guy's been seriously broken from the beginning and everyone else is just wrecked. But we do still need money. So
oh my God. That's probably exactly how that conversation went down, honestly. It's the only way I can see this getting passed.
So we don't have to go like beat by beat through this movie, but the main acts are they get together, Nikki Sixx is a shitty family, Mick Mars is an old guy, Tommy Lee is like I guess the most normal one, which is insane.
Yeah, but I mean Tommy Lee is a character in real life, and in this movie he's almost like a gee whiz Opie kind of guy.
He's kind of he's not the straight man because none of them are the straight man. I guess if you're gonna name one the straight man, it's the old guy, Mick.
It's the old guy, yeah.
But right. He runs around naked in a hotel and smashes shit over, and you know.
I think it was so comedic because of the actor that played him, who was Machine Gun Kelly. If you didn't know,
yes.
It's so bizarre. He looks ridiculous. I think that once I saw the memes online about it, but I didn't understand why people were talking about him. And then when I realized it was him, I just started laughing like that. It was really asinine.
Of the four actors playing the main characters, he was the only name that I even knew, which doesn't mean anything, but
yeah, that's the thing.
In this case, it actually meant something.
This is a lot of people who aren't anything. Like they've been in small parts in somewhat known movies, but other than him, I recognized Pete Davidson as the producer, who is he's an SNL guy, probably more known for his like personal life issues,
or for his also dating now Kate Beckinsale. I mean that's what he's known for.
Wait, he's dating her now? He was dating Ariana Grande before. He's dating her now?
Yeah, that's the big thing because, you know, she's like 20 years older than him.
Oh, my God.
All right, so I saw this in Nicole. He's like a doofy-looking Steve Buscemi kind of guy. Like, he looks like a young Buscemi. Like, what? Is he just... But he's also got all these personal issues. Is he just, like, the coolest guy ever in real life? Because, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand.
Sometimes
I think they feel bad for him.
He has no charisma either. He's so blah.
I think you're jealous.
Oh, dude, he's just blah.
I'm with Brennan here, but people love who they love, and that's
how did they meet? That's what I want to know.
At a party. They had the same,
everybody knows
agent
everybody
or whatever. Everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
But there is one other person I recognized here. The dad of Tommy Lee is the shitty dad from Stranger Things, Mr. Wheeler.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's in another movie called Assassination Nation, also as shitty dad. So like he's got that. Like this is easily his least offensive dad character.
Some people know their calling.
Yeah. No, he knows his place, and it's as blah 80s dad.
Yeah.
So they meet up. They have their rise. They drink pee by the side of the pool with Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh my
Not all of them. Not all of them.
No, just
only Ozzy drinks the
Ozzy
pee.
and Nikki Sixx.
Oh yeah, Nikki pees, and then before he can drink his own pee, Ozzy pushes him out of the way and drinks his pee.
Apparently, there's way more to that story than is even in there, and yeah, that was enough for me. I was doing the oh god, no at the screen.
So they leave out something that is more famously known that happened, but they put that whole beginning scene in there so intense. That's really bizarre.
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of things that they couldn't put in, so
they put in a lot.
They put in a lot, but I think of when they're showing like the hotel curtains on fire and just all the sex that's happening and everything. And when you say it's gratuitous, I say it's the 80s. That's what it was. Honestly.
You hit a girl squirting like 5 feet across the room. Like, that's how your party started?
Probably.
I think that party... Dude, that party was in full swing when that happened. So, I don't know.
I guess that's what we're introduced 60% into the party, so.
Yeah.
That is probably exactly how it went down.
That probably was exactly how it went down. I lived in LA during that time, and I can remember my favorite part of the movies was every time they would show the outside marquee of where they were playing, I would look at the other bands that were playing, like, oh my god, they were playing when X was playing, and they were playing when all these other bands, Rat and In Excess and all these other bands, and then all of a sudden you see oh crap, what's the 90s band that they showed toward the end?
I don't even remember.
It showed Pearl Jam's
Pearl Jam, and it was like,
I
felt like it was like that was like dun 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 dun.
That's so funny.
Like, your time is over. Pearl Jam has arrived, and 80s hairband is dead. So
yeah,
that was my favorite part. I just seeing those, and that seemed really deliberate to me. Like they were trying to make some sort of statement. I'm not sure.
So we've talked about the characters. What little character these characters have. I give it a 2 again, like just, occasional moments of funny, but nothing, just really blah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that sounds like it's pretty giving. Nothing really stands out to me, honestly. I think maybe I started to compare it to Bohemian Rhapsody in the sense of like, there was essentially the same aspect. It was showing a come-up story of somebody famous in music. They played their songs well, but Bohemian Rhapsody took you over so much more than this one did. I didn't feel like I was jumping up and down at the concert with Motley Crue like I did in the other movies. So
yeah, I think when I did a former review, I think I coined the term 2-. Does that seem familiar?
You did. You gave that to Eternal Sunshine, and I'm offended that you're giving.
Was it a 1-? I can't remember. But,
a 1-.
I think it was a 2- because I don't. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I remember I don't like going into 1. Seems really just mean. But I'm gonna go with 2- because I think that probably the characters, the actual people in Motley Crue, have way more character and way more charisma than anything that I saw on the screen. everybody was really honestly just cartoony of one another. I mean, old guy was old guy. And let's be clear that this guy might have been 8 or 10 years older than them. It's not like he was 70.
Right. Yeah.
But he was
so
like,
weird.
Grumpy old man, like, get off my lawn. It's like,
I think
you're
they were
in a rock band.
They were in like their mid-20s. I think he was in his mid-30s. So I think it's like a 10-year difference. But
right.
Yeah, it's not like
but
he was
it's just
50.
sort of like that was his whole jam, and I'm pretty sure that's Mick Mars. I'm pretty sure that's not what he was during the 35-year history of Motley Crue or 40-year history of Motley Crue, and same with like Vince Neil. I never believed that. Vince Neil, I think, has way more character. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but I think in real life.
I agree with you. Just from anything he's ever been on TV and any sort of interview or just like other parodies of movies of him, like he's always had so much more character than that, than this movie did.
I just don't know what the point. What was the point of this? Just to show what was going on. I mean, I don't know.
There is nothing. It's insane how blah a movie this like that should be provocative is
about this type of band and these people's lifestyle. It was so ungripping. It was really bad.
Right. And there's a couple of the parts when having lived through that era and remembering things and remembering the car crash with the lead singer from Hanoi Rocks and remembering when that happened and how that was like a big deal. And over here it was, they showed it and it's on a newspaper, but it was a big fucking deal at the time. Like Vince Neil was in it and then all of a sudden he wasn't. But I mean, people were like, this is crazy. And then when there was the part where, big super spoiler, Nikki Sixx dies in the movie. And I'm like, I looked at Lloyd, I looked at my husband and I was like, Nikki Sixx isn't dead, is he?
I picked up my phone to start looking too because I was really confused.
We both did. Everyone did. Everyone picked up their phone.
They gotta give him the adrenaline shots to break. He needs two.
Yeah, he
so
needed
hardcore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's mainlining black tar and like, what is happening?
So the visual. I mean, you talked about the only scene I kind of almost enjoyed. As far as visual and sound wise go, I liked the car crash when he's talking and he's like, "Oh, look at the Christmas lights," and then he comes to and his face is all like fucked up and it's all like gashed and like, but it's been sitting there for a while. I really liked that. That was really gross, and that takes this thing up from a 1.5 to a 2. Yeah, I got a nice 2 on visual sound. Nicole, what did you give the visual sound?
Did they use like original music? Like nobody else was singing, right? Like that was Motley Crue singing.
I'm pretty sure that was. Not.
I don't think that. Yeah, I think that was probably the original band.
Okay, I give it a 1 then. There's no effort put in. That was bullshit.
I don't want to say. I'm guessing. It didn't seem like.
I mean, there was no flow of like I didn't see. Oh, I told you this when we were watching it. I got annoyed because. In the beginning, they were mapping out timelines. They had the date of when, like, they were whatever scene was going into, and then it just stopped. Like all of a sudden, his baby was like 9 and had cancer. I'm like, where was the timeline? So,
time stopped.
That pissed me off a little bit. So I give it a 1.
Wow, you went into the 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the 2- because.
I'm waiting for the day you give a real 1 on something and not a 2- or a 1.5 even. Like
it's gonna have to be like A Quiet Place where there's absolutely no sound at all in the movie.
Yeah, but the visual.
There's the visual part. Well, yeah, I might. Yeah, it's a really kind 2- because visually these kids looked super clean cut compared to the real Motley Crue at the time. I mean. Their faces were so tight and shiny and clean and clear, and that is not what an 80s band, especially an 80s hair band, looked like. That was doing, heroin all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That is not what they looked like. So, Visually, I was taken out of it all the time because I was just like, no, this again. It looked cartoony. It looked like I was watching. I remember growing up, the band Kiss just had a cartoon series, and I was like, I feel like I'm watching the Kiss cartoon series. Like these are actual cartoons. And the music part, actually, I didn't mind because every so often they bring a scene in, and you could kind of hear their music coming in at a really low tone, like behind the scene. And then as they were in the concert doing the music would kick on like you were at a concert. But it was, I actually kind of like that. And I forgot that, Home Sweet Home's a really fun song. So they've got some of their music's kind of fun to listen to.
Yeah, I suppose you could think that. So I think Nicole brought it up briefly. The only, I'm going to put in quotations, emotional moment is, we got Vince coming back from rehab. We got, or not from rehab, from jail. Nikki's coming back from rehab after almost dying on heroin. They're cleanish, and then Vince leaves the band because I can't even remember, because they're like relapsing and he's like not ready for it. And then he finds out his daughter.
It's because they gave him a line of heroin to snort. Yeah,
he didn't know. I kind of laughed at that. He thought it was coke and it was fucking heroin. He took a huge line of heroin. You're not supposed to, especially after 19 days of sobriety. But so the emotional part of the movie is we find out that Vince's daughter is dying of stomach cancer. And I guess this is as good a time as any to bring up the resonance and feel. Mama K, what do you rate that?
Yikes. 1. I mean, it brought me down to a 1. I mean, I did feel things for it, but it wasn't anything I wanted to feel. And it honestly, I was like, what am I doing with my time here right now? Am I getting any texts or?
It was really out of place for what the movie was like portraying.
Part of the story, I guess.
I had no idea at all. I had no idea that he had a daughter that passed away. But it was like, I don't think. It's like a really sad moment in like a movie of like some guy banging a woman like 2 minutes prior. It's really weird.
Yeah, and it was just something like it was trite with how they brought it in. It was just like, okay, well, this actually, this happened.
They brought it in with like 20 minutes left. Like they were just like, oh, right. Also you care about these characters, like
right.
And then segue,
and also,
segue into it. You see a gravestone you're believing it's hers. No, it's his fucking dad. Like out of nowhere. He found out his dad has died like 30 years ago.
And like the half brother is like, oh, I really loved you guys when I was younger. And then he like pats him on the back, and then that's like fucking it. And then you just like,
my brother's Nikki 6.
Oh, that's so crazy. My brother, well, half brother. Right, like get the fuck out of here. Like what the fuck is that?
We'll see you later then. Okay, see ya.
Oh my god.
That let's bring this dude in for like 20 minutes of filming.
Yeah, okay, like bye. Also you have a half brother. Like I don't. Who cares? Like
it's almost like they had to obligatory mention him for some reason.
Well, it's like wanted a cut of the movie because he's like we're related.
Contractual.
Well, it's like remember the manager, and then there was the other manager, and they were like, "But he's not very interesting, so we're just not going to include him in the movie."
that might be one of my favorite parts of the movie because I was laughing. And I was like, that's hilarious. Do it that way. And the way that the storytelling in the movie when they were telling it like by each person. Do you remember when
Okay, so I'm confused the whole time because they all sound and look so similar that I don't know who's narrating who when. Like at probably about 30 minutes in, I'm like, his voice sounds different. So they're going, they're like, yeah, it's this guy narrating now. I'm like, wait, there've been different narrators? I thought it was the same guy the whole time.
No, every time it was a different person. It was that person.
I was so confused. I thought he was like schizophrenic. I couldn't follow what he was talking about. I was like, why does he already know him?
You were trying to make way more out of this movie than it was.
This was early on when I gave it a chance, and then
I know you're all about maybe someone's schizophrenic.
You were holding on for a while watching that.
I was trying. I was really grasping. I don't like to just destroy a movie for no reason, but this has a reason. Nicole, what do you give The Feel in Residence?
Another one.
Another one.
I mean, I kind of got really sad when the little girl was getting sick because she was the perfect actress to play that role because she looked so sad. Her little lip was quivering.
What's wrong with my tummy? I need the flour to come out of my tummy.
Yeah, that's that was the only part that that struck me during this.
See, film. I thought that might bump you to that 1.5.
Nothing else.
No one had any pets in this movie, which I find hard to believe.
Pets? That's what you found hard to believe?
Well,
everything else
I don't find any of this.
When would they have a pet?
Everything else is entirely believable.
A pet would live for like 2 hours under one of these guys. Like,
I just feel like they would have them anyway. Like I feel like Tommy Lee and first of all, we only find Heather Locklear is his wife. I mean, we're not going to go into the Pamela Anderson era. How do you avoid that in a movie about Motley Crue?
See, I didn't even know about that because I don't know anything about Motley Crue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bringing the old perspective here, but she was way more. They were way more in the limelight when they were married, as opposed to when he was. Even when they were in the heyday of Motley Crue and he was married to Heather Locklear, that was nothing compared to when he was married to Pamela Anderson, because they were both kind of a shit show.
Their sex
I think they got married, divorced, married.
What's that?
What's that?
The boat sex tape that they made.
Oh, I have no idea what any of you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
It was a lovely home video of them on a lake or something like that, and then it turns into a sex tape, and it was like, what the hell?
That might have been like one of the first times those came out.
Yes.
Like it was way pre Kim K.
Oh yeah, definitely
kind of stuff. So yeah. Huh.
No, if they put that in there, I might have spiced up the movie a little bit, but.
I think we were good with the sex that was actually included in the movie.
Yeah, so we get to the end, they're walking down a hallway, they've reunited, and we get some of the worst shit I've ever heard in my life, where they're like, it takes friends, it takes a whole lot of rock and roll, and we're a family. And then they like walk up, and you see like lights shining on them, and like fake cheering in the background. You don't even see an audience, because I don't think they could pay for one. And then that's it. And then you get like 5.5 minutes of credits where they're splicing real Motley Crue with fake boring Motley Crue, and they're playing Kickstart My Heart. Like, that's the end.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I thought it was like a sketch from like SNL at the end or something.
It was so bad, I couldn't believe that that's what they did. Like, it was almost as bad as the freeze frame at the end of Aquaman. It was terrible. It was.
I think they used all their budget, and then they had to wrap it up somehow. So
they're like, oh shit, we need them together again. Oh, just have them walk up some stairs and say meaningful things to each other in slow-mo, and then the lights will shine on them.
Yeah, remember they did that farewell concert. Remember? Yeah. That's how we'll end it. Yeah.
Let's just use stock footage and have them stand under lights. It'll be fine. Like they'll get it.
Horrible.
I feel kind of bad because I've never had any like room in my heart for Motley Crue, but there's a room in my heart for that time frame in my life. So now it's like, oh, I feel bad that I'm talking like this about Motley Crue.
No, I have even less room after seeing this. Like, I cannot believe we even talked this. So that's the thing is, it sounds like we all thought this was a shit movie. So the question is really more of, can you recommend it on a so bad it's good basis, or is it just so bad it sucks? Nicole, what do you think?
It sucks. No, I wouldn't.
Oh.
Not even worth it?
I mean, if you are like if you're a diehard Motley Crue fan, I think you're going to be disappointed because it's really corny. And if you're not a diehard Motley Crue fan, but you are like interested in the era, it's still shitty because they didn't portray it well enough. So in my eyes, it was just a flop for anybody who's interested. I'm sorry, it just was not good.
Mama K.
Okay, I'm gonna be the niche audience that it's going to appeal to, mainly because you want to relive that part of your life a little bit, and it helps you along to do that, especially if you were. I was living in LA at the time, and the Troubadour and the Whiskey, all of those were places that people would go to. We would go to the Roxy and see bands that no one ever heard of, and then all of a sudden they were famous. I think for me, that is the sole appeal of this movie. And I mean, I could even watch it again for that part of
Oh,
it.
you've got to be kidding me. You could watch this again?
I could sit down. I can see me sitting down with like maybe some college friends or some high school friends and being like, dude, do you remember?
I think we'll just send you some YouTube videos of like blasts from the past 80s instead.
Yeah, go watch MTV's I Love the 80s. Like this is like I would rather watch like Andy Dick and Dee Snider talk about like what happened in the 80s than watch this.
Okay, I can say that I would rather watch I don't know if y'all know this, but the pop-up videos that come on MTV, they still show them now, but that you're watching a video and they'll have these little factoids pop up, like you're watching a Cyndi Lauper video and they'll have these factoids or pop up. And I would watch that before I would watch this movie a second time. I don't know if that's a ringing endorsement or if but I would sit and watch it with friends and we would reminisce about our time.
I guess this could be a corny bad thing you reminisce because it reminds you.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from. I mean, I can't feel it because I don't have that time, but I can understand what you mean. It's not a recommend at all. It's terrible. I do not recommend this movie. I know we laughed at it, but it's more of a laughing through the pain. It's not like Troll 2 or The Room. It's not a so bad it's good. It's so boring. It's really boring. Like I don't try to, when I watch movies, especially for the show, I try to sit down, not play with my phone, like really try to pay attention. Oh, it was hard. It was really hard. It was hard not to drift off. Like it took a lot of self-control. Not recommend. I don't know what else there much is to say on this. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts on this one?
Not particularly. I'm just grateful it wasn't Van Halen because I would have been even more inclined to not watch. So
I think I would have preferred a Van Halen because at least they had Hagar drama. Like
there'd be some serious like knockdown drag out kind of stuff if it was Van Halen. So.
Although if it was done like this, I would probably still hate it because it's just done so poorly. I think there's a way to make this not awful, but it's just bad.
It would have been with the same actors. They would have pretty much had the same hairstyle.
They wouldn't even have to change their clothes. Like I wouldn't have even realized.
No.
I'm kind of upset that now that I know that the guy from Jackass made this, that Johnny Knoxville wasn't in it.
None of them are in it, are they? Like none of the famous
like
Jackass guys are in this, or Daredevil.
None of the famous
Jackass sports, whatever guys. No, none of the famous Jackasses.
No, these are just the infamous Jackasses. Maybe this guy was really thinking he was turning a corner with this.
Yeah, then they dumped it on Netflix in March.
Yeah, not everything that gets dumped on Netflix though is bad.
No, there's some good gems, and that's
I think that I'm happy that they took a chance with something like this. I think they had to kind of give themselves a chance to have a Bohemian Rhapsody hyped up type of biopic musical type of thing. So I do commend them for trying this route. It just didn't work.
I really want to know what they think. I would love to hear like their unadulterated.
They're the producers.
Comments.
They're producers because they wrote the book. They didn't have. I don't think they had creative say in the movie. Yeah, no, it's based on a book called The Dirt: My Memoirs of Being Gross or whatever. I don't know. Like.
Also, watch me at a Holiday Inn with Ozzy Osbourne. It's like, no, thank you.
So gross. These fucking snorting fire ants. Oh my god. All right, so that wraps up our review of The Dirt, which is an aptly titled name. Now that I think of it, The Dirt is an aptly that is this movie. It is Dirt. Coming up April, we have a lot more. I think we'll do some more streaming reviews. Hopefully, some more successful than this. They're not all bad. Triple Frontier was good. Nicole and I like that one a lot.
Yes.
So Netflix movies, I mean, I know they're hit or miss. But this one's a hard miss. So we'll have probably another streaming movie up this week, and then next week, I think Jess and a guest of ours, our first special guest, will be reviewing Pet Sematary. So that'll be a good theatrical release. And then, April's got some other stuff down the pike, but I think streaming reviews is what we're going to try to do this month.
Yeah, it does.
Because, well, I think, so yeah, our big one at the end of the month is going to be Endgame, Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
I think that's probably going to end up coming out in May, just because of the timing. It'll come out the first week of May. But I say we're going to do a lot of streaming this month because May has, I don't know how we're going to go to the movies every day. There are so many big, good-looking movies coming out in May, so that'll be a good month. But April, we're gonna get some streaming stuff in there, plus at least Pet Sematary and a few others. So thank you guys for being on. Nicole, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Mama K, of course.
Thanks, Brennan.
And until next time, everyone, this is Brennan signing off saying enjoy your movies.
Thanks for listening to Films with the Women in My Life. If you enjoyed being a listener in our life, subscribe to us on iTunes. Please leave a review as it helps more people find the show. Like us on Facebook at Films with the Women in My Life. Follow us on Twitter at FilmsWomenPod. And check out our website, filmswiththewomen.libsyn.com. That's filmswiththewomen.libsyn.com. Original music for the show was created by Ian Burke. Original artwork created by Nicole D'Alessio. This show is produced by Brennan Snyder. Thank you again for listening.